We have someone pulling in, so why don't we just go around, I'm not sure if everyone knows each other, and introduce ourselves. I'm Melanie Weston. I am your contract town planner with Kennebec Valley Council of Governments, and I've been here since 2 Junes ago, so almost 2 years.
Denise Ducharme, town manager.
Jack Ducharme. Resident.
Dave Burnett.
Jessica Bernard.
Travis Bent.
Mary Tomlinson.
And I'm Randy Bliss.
Awesome. So
And Cheyenne's on.
Cheyenne is on Zoom. Are you there, Cheyenne?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. If I'm gonna be looking at another document, so if you just have something to say, just yell.
Okay.
Cool. So does everyone have a copy of the transportation chapter?
Yes. How about via email?
Okay, perfect, yeah. So starting off, the first section of this is the policies and strategies section. That's right at the top 2 pages. These that are in here currently are what the state mandates as required for policies and strategies. But as with all the other chapters, if there's anything specific to Madison that we want to consider adding, we can. Hi.
Hi. This space right here by this microphone.
Are you Kate?
I'm Kate.
Hi, I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise.
I'm gonna have a hard time not calling you Mrs. Drummond because you were my, yeah, you were my high school homeroom teacher.
I thought I recognized your name.
You were the scientist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I never had you, but I remember.
Face looks familiar. It's good to see you again. Mary.
So welcome, Kate. So we've already gone around and introduced ourselves, but we can do that again just so Kate can get everyone
Thank
safe.
you. I
I'm Melanie.
apologize.
You're good.
Jack.
David.
Jessica.
Travis.
Kate. Mary.
So we're going over the transportation chapter.
Yes.
And just looking again at the first 2 pages, those are the policies and strategies. So these that are on here are the ones that are mandated by the state that we're required to have. But as if we're going through, if we think of any others that we want to add, we can. So going through, I'm just going to go through briefly and kind of touch on what I added from my discussion with Jeff Wright. And then we can go back through and talk about the checklist questions. So this had initially been started by Tim, the previous town manager, but is all updated, including all the data is updated. I went back through too and updated all of the traffic data. Jeff Wright was also able to give me a semblance of an inventory of our sidewalks.
Okay.
Going to page 21, under safety, I did put in a note about throughout Madison, officials and residents have reported issues with speeding, specifically on sharp curves. This includes Russell Road and Ward Hill Road. And then moving down to page 24, at the end of that section, I put in a paragraph specifically about the 4-way stop that's proposed on Ward Hill Road. Under discontinued roads on that same page, I did add Conjockety Road. Access via River Road is a town way, but also has a public easement for vehicles, but it's not possible to drive all the way through. And then also I put in a few sentences about farm driveways that are still being plowed, even though they're not technically roads. That was a little bit of information I got from Jeff.
So is that like Robbins Hill Road and
Stoudemire.
And Stoudemire and Walter?
Essentially what Jeff told me, which I found interesting, is in the 50s and 60s, a lot of those farmers were like, if you do not plow this for us, we will just throw out all our milk.
Yep.
And so the town had agreed, and there's a few hangovers.
Right.
Most of them are gone, but like Stoudemire,
Holdovers.
holdovers, yes.
So where did you put that?
I put that under the discontinued roads section. I felt like that made sense there.
Okay, yep.
Under bridges, I don't think there was any changes to that, but there was, under that section on page 26, I did add a paragraph about culverts. Specifically, they're considering installing a stream crossing on Walters Road off Preble Ave, but that'll take several years of budgeting. Under parking,
Did he say why it would take several years of budget?
Planning, I think engineering, and then I think it's just not in the budget for this go-around.
Okay.
Yep. Under parking, I added a paragraph about,
What page?
oh, sorry, that is page 26.
26?
So under parking, I added a paragraph about street parking and our ordinance that dictates where and when people can park, specifically from April 1st until November 1st. And I did add a few sentences about issues that have been noted at 55 Weston Ave since that was put in.
I'm not finding the parking thing.
Well,
28.
Oh, 28?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Jeff Wright did note that there's been some issues with, one, people ignoring parking bans in the winter outside of 55 Weston Ave, and also there's been an increase in accidents at those two stop signs, John and Thomas Street.
Yep.
So I did note that in there as well. And then moving down. On page 28, do I have a different copy than you
You
guys?
must
Mine.
have, because
I don't know where
parking,
parking is.
the heading for parking is at the bottom of page 25, and then the paragraph is
Oh.
on 26.
Yeah,
Gotcha. All right.
I must be looking at a different draft than what I gave you guys.
Yeah, but you said you put all of that other info, so that's.
Yep.
So if you
Under-
give us the paragraph
Yeah,
title.
financial stability. It should be,
Gotcha.
I'm gonna guess,
Bottom of 27.
yeah. So I did add, there's been challenges, including raising property taxes, increased operating costs because of materials, wages, and insurance. But besides that, that seemed pretty straightforward. I did have a conversation, I'll go back to that. Going down to transportation resources and choices, I did add a small, and perhaps you guys can answer this. Under public transit, I know Bath Iron Works and Sappi have provided vans for carpooling to our area. I'm pretty sure Bath Iron Works still does. I don't know about Sappi. Does anyone know? Okay.
I don't know, but that's a really good
Yeah.
point to have some commuter vans.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times it's individuals too.
Yep.
Right.
We have-
That's a good
We
point.
have a few people in town.
Yeah, let me add that in there too.
It- Yeah. Go
Backyard
ahead.
Farms has a bus to it.
Okay, that's good to,
Do they have,
they do, actually,
they
yeah.
have residents here in Madison that work out the farm that they bus, or is that the ones that are in Skowhegan?
Skowhegan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's true, they go from Madison, pick them up, bring them back, bring them home.
Backyard farms. But besides that, there wasn't anything else additional to
No,
public
and
transit.
Did you ever talk with Pete Steroids about the plan that he was trying to put together?
I have. He's kind of given up on that a little bit because I think he's being pulled in multiple directions. But he did do a lot of legwork insofar as surveying. He has about 200 responses on that. KV Cog has continued to try to get funding for, our most recent application was to the federal government for a grant to look at a public transportation corridor between Augusta and Jackman. So we are still actively attempting to on a regional level,
Okay,
but I would eventually like to get those from Pete. They may be good for this.
okay.
I don't know if it counts here too, but there are a few people around that use a taxi service in town.
Is there a taxi service?
In Skowhegan.
Okay.
We had a guy come and get food with it the other day. So I
That's a
was
good point, okay.
surprised, but
Yeah.
Do you ever have anybody come through Uber Eats to pick up stuff?
no, they take too much of your money. So we don't do any DoorDash or anything
Okay.
like that. But yeah, I think I can picture the cars. I know one of the drivers is Jeff Gordon. That's ironic, I know that, but
Jeff Gordon?
the guy Jeff Gordon drives a taxi.
Number 24.
Not 24. He wears a Jeff Gordon hat though.
That is funny.
But there is a taxi service, and I've seen him around town. I don't think it might be the Skowhegan one or something.
I
But
think it's Skowhegan.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not Max still, is it?
Yeah, I think it's
Skowhegan.
Max.
I think so, but that's a good point to put in there, that people
But
are
I do
choosing
see them
that.
using it around if you want to.
Because we do have a lack of Ubers, so it's kind of.
Right.
Well, and there was talk at one time, and I don't know whatever became of it, of somebody setting up a taxi service here in Madison. But I don't know if that ever
Never had.
I don't think it ever got off the ground because it doesn't exist today.
Yeah.
Was it Scouttown Taxi or Max? Okay.
There's Scout Town.
I think just Scouttown.
Maybe when I retire,
So
that's
there's
what I'll
two
do.
taxi
Is the
services in
KV Cal?
Skowhegan.
When I was younger, they used to be
Service.
Max. I don't know if that's still in, but I think
Transportation
when I was
service.
younger, I remember it being Max.
Yeah.
But I think the one
Yeah.
I've seen around is Scouttown.
I think, let me see if I have their most up to date, because I know,
Oops. Lost it.
yeah, the demand response bus. Because I think that, I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing in Madison now.
Think
The
so.
Somerset Explorer is kind of defunct, right?
Right.
Yeah. And that's sad because
It
that
is.
was a really good opportunity
It was, it really helped a lot of
for
people.
for non-driving people.
Why did it go away?
Funding, I think.
Funding.
I think it was funding and they had issues.
Getting drivers
Yeah.
and
Right.
Yeah.
liability.
Yeah. And I think the route in general, because I'm pretty sure they used to have a bus between Jackman and Skowhegan, but there was not enough riders to
Right.
make it
Yeah.
profitable. Under pedestrian modes, this is where I did insert, this is right after public transit. There's, throughout the last plan and this plan, there's constant mention of wanting to do a sidewalk inventory. That was on the previous policies and strategies. We have a list of sidewalks, which I included, and I think in total, we have about 40,000 feet.
Okay.
40,000 linear feet of sidewalks. However, there's no condition included with those. It's just the size and where they're located, which is a start. So that's around 7 miles of sidewalk. I did put in that they're trying to get this into the road service management program so that it's in there with all the lists of roads and everything and they can keep better track.
Is that a town? Okay,
It's something the highway department uses.
okay.
So they can keep track of the priority, any issues when they're actually working on stuff. I put in here also, the Main Street sidewalk does not extend from the village to the junior senior high, and that's something that pretty repeatedly gets brought up. Jeff had also brought up Old Point to the rec fields on Preble Ave. And also recently talking about something, perhaps doing more sidewalks from Hannaford to the apartment complexes, like the Meadows, because it seems like we get a lot of walkers over there. But besides that, is there anything else with sidewalks? Do we want to keep the, oh, Steve is over Zoom.
There is a sidewalk from Hannaford to the Meadows.
Okay, that's good.
No, there's not. Because if you go down either Hardy Street or North Avenue, there's no sidewalk on either of those streets.
There's a sidewalk on Hardy Street. There's a sidewalk on Hardy Street that goes all the way across from Main Street.
Yes, you're
Goes
right.
all the way across to Park Street. Now,
Oh,
Park
yeah.
Street,
It's on the western side.
Park
Yeah.
Street is a state road, so you're not gonna put a sidewalk there.
Yeah.
But just cross over and the Meadows is right there.
Yeah, that's good to know. It says, where are you?
Does the town plow every inch of all the sidewalks or just the ones in town?
In town.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, they're supposed to plow all the sidewalks, I'm pretty sure.
I think
That's
so. I
probably a
talked
Jeff
about- I
Jeff
did-
Wright question.
I put
Just
this
curious.
in there, we talked about this. Essentially, all these sidewalks get plowed except, which ones did we say? Park Street. So there's a few that he said just simply don't get done because of time. They don't have enough
Yeah.
time. I think that's the biggest issue is staffing.
The Park Street sidewalk on the north side is not even maintained. It's really just a go path through there, and
Yeah,
I've walked it, and it's not really a sidewalk that's maintained. But historically, you should understand that when the town has resurfaced in-town streets, for example, Rowell Street,
Madison.
Madison Ave, well, I know Madison Ave has sidewalks, but the cross streets like Rowell Street, Garfield, Hill Street, for example, whoever was in charge at the time chose to not replace sidewalks, but merely pave flat all the way so that they
They
didn't have
extended
to.
the road.
But
Right.
so
Yeah,
through
that
the
makes
winter months, it's like, during the summer, there's like a sidewalk on Heald Street to walk past our house down to the town office, because the sidewalk is virtually inside the light poles. Outside the light poles is the street, if you will, and there's really no sidewalk there, but during the wintertime, that never gets
doesn't get
plowed.
maintained, yeah.
So the snow just comes out into the road, so everybody's walking in the road, because the quote sidewalk, which really, they made the choice not to do raised sidewalks, which probably was a smart choice at the time. But at the end of the day,
In the
if
winter.
you're going to have sidewalks and you need to use them in the wintertime, you need to clean them.
And kids especially need safe places to walk.
Yeah.
And for the elderly as well, that have difficulty navigating
Mm-hmm.
the roads. They're not going to be walking the roads if they can avoid it.
Yeah. Well, it just puts the
Sad.
kids out into the
Yeah.
road, it puts everybody out into the road when you
Yep.
don't have that place to walk.
Designated area.
That's why, that's why we have raised sidewalks most everywhere else, and we pay to have them plowed and all that stuff through the wintertime.
That's what we do, we walk in the street, believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
on Pine Street. Sometimes it doesn't get plowed, they're doing much better with that new machine they've got,
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing much better.
Yeah.
But they're so slippery, you can't walk on them,
yeah.
they just can't get to them.
I think there is the reality too of just staff capacity, unfortunately. Bicycle amenities. Jeff said there's never been any call for formal bike facilities. There is noted bicycling out on 201A and around the village areas, but is there anything within this that we want to add? One of the checklist questions is how are walking and bicycling integrated into the community's transportation network?
At your own risk.
Exactly.
Yeah, that seems important. Under trails, which is the next section, I just have a quick list of walking versus motorized trails. I did put a quick paragraph in at the end of that section noting the ATV access routes that allow ATV riders to use public roads to access ATV trailheads. I noted that they're outlined in the town's ATV ordinance. And I did note some complaints specifically about speeding, use of ATVs as alternative transportation, and use of access routes during nighttime hours and during the winter. And that lack of enforcement continues to be an issue. But is there anything else with trails that we should consider adding?
You don't have the Western Woods and Waters on here,
And Jacob's Pines.
Oh, that's under, Jacob's Pines, the last one.
right? And
Oh, it's
you're
at the
right.
top, sorry.
It's in there, yeah.
And the, what's the one off Russell Road that goes, you can take it all the way through into Skowhegan? What is that whole I can never
Oh,
remember.
that's Coburn Woods, but there's Coburn Woods, but I think that's in Skowhegan. Unless I'm thinking of a different.
Coburn Woods.
I think that is across the town line in Skowhegan.
You think so?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
But
For some reason,
thinking
I always
of the-
thought that part was in Madison.
I think
so.
it's thinking of the rec map I did for Skowhegan. I'll confirm though. I'll make a
Alrighty.
note.
So Weston Woods and Somerset Woods,
Western Woods and Waters.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and Somerset Woods.
There's also,
trustees.
I don't know if I wanted to include.
Don't they have trails also?
Where?
That-
Somerset
that is
Woods.
Western Woods and Waters.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Somerset
All right,
Woods is
same,
Western
all right.
Woods.
Thompson, is it Thompson Islands?
Yes?
Should we put that on here?
I mean, we can, it doesn't have trails.
Gotcha. Okay, that's probably more.
It's
for
public
the-
land, but it doesn't have
It's
trails.
probably more for the water resources.
Yep.
Which also, I had a conversation with Jeff Wright specifically about the dam in East Madison.
Okay,
Because that is, he said that at one point, he tried to pass it off to Eric Lottie. Obviously, that didn't work because it's a private citizen. And then Eric tried to hand it off to the Wesser-Runset Association, but it still falls onto the town. One thing he wanted specifically is a schedule from the Lake Association or someone, just so they know when to go, because they don't. I wasn't sure where to put that issue with the dam. I don't think it makes sense in the transportation chapter.
definitely water resources.
Okay, and maybe recreation as well.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Is there any other trails we're missing, or
That's
is
what
it?
I'm thinking.
You've got the pines.
Is there any, yeah, I put the Preble Ave trails too.
Nathan Street Boat Landing, okay.
I think that's all, because Westwoods and Waters
Encompasses
covers a
all
large
that.
area.
Yeah.
It's all the way out to 43 now, so. it's-
What about Black Point out at,
Okay, right, they're
Black
gonna be
Point's new.
developing.
Black Point's
Yeah.
new?
Yep.
Where's
It is,
that?
it hasn't been completed yet.
Right.
No, but it's coming.
It is,
Right.
yeah.
And by the time this is done, it'll
Right.
probably be like 2028.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's Black Point. Where's that?
should be done by
That's
then.
on the northwest corner of Lake Westrunsett.
Yep.
Okay.
Up to 01.
Well, that's exciting.
I'm glad someone thought of that.
Yes.
I wish it was me. I should have thought of that.
Motorized trails, we have the Kennebec Valley Trail and then ITS 87, I think that was it. So just go.
Yeah, so you might be able to get more information on the motorized trails from Jeff Ireland.
Yep, I was gonna send him this and the rec chapter.
Yep, and the other one for ITS 87 would be, I think, Linwood Cowan.
Okay, right.
Because
Is
I
he the
think he's-
snowmobile club?
He's with these.
Yeah, I don't know that
He's
he's
the
the trail
snow-
master, but he's part of the
Yeah.
trail club. Snowmobile club,
Abenaki Snow Riders.
yeah,
Wood, Cowan.
yeah. His wife is Lisa, she's the one that does the red truck treats
Oh, yeah.
over on Old Point.
Okay. Okay. Overall, is there any major points you feel like this doesn't hit?
Besides the major commuting opportunities like BIW and Sappy, or Hudamaki and Waterville, it would be nice to be able to have, I know Cheyenne's been working on it, so maybe Cheyenne can speak to it, but having more of a regular presence of the Kennebec Valley KV Cap van to take people from 1 Madison Avenue to Hannaford, or 1 Madison Avenue to the pharmacy or something like that. I know she's been working on that, working through some of that with grant money. But 1 Madison Ave is obviously not the only place that needs,
Yeah.
help. They're probably the least motorized elderly place. Then you've got Henderson Complex, and you've got Lily Lane, elder housing. And most of those people have their own vehicles for transportation. And
So I
then,
can speak to that, and the goal of the Living Well Committee, because we're in an MOU right now with KV Cap for the once-a-month Hannaford trip.
What is can you just,
memorandum of understanding.
thank you. Sorry, Shane.
No worries. And to bring the Kennebec Explorer back to Madison in the capacity that it was here before, we need to show KV Cap that we can have the same ridership. So what they need to see is proven ridership. And so we've shown that with 1 Madison Avenue through this MOU. So we're going to propose adding the Henderson Complex into the next MOU, and then do 2, and we're hoping to increase it a little bit year by year until they can propose to add in routes itself. And then we're working with Kirk Bellavance, and there might be some funding opportunity that they might be able to do 1 or 2 days a week sooner than that. So that conversation has started, and we're hoping to get the Somerset Explorer back. It's just something that really, it's a huge funding issue that's going to provide a lot of collaboration with, but it's something we are working on.
Have you considered adding in Country Corner Inn? A lot of those people don't have vehicles.
From the living well side, it was easier for us to incorporate in the older adult housing unit.
But to build up that ridership, I think you might be able to find some riders from the Country Corner Inn.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're lower income or older or, you know, less able to provide their own transportation.
Yep, we can, that's something I can bring up to the Living Well Committee. They had asked that I add in the Henderson Complex next, just because the amount of older adults who are walking to Hannaford right now from there that are struggling. But if that's something that we can incorporate in this year, then I can see about doing that too.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, yeah, that's great input.
There's the Country Corner and the one out on Pearl.
Yeah. It used to be a boarding house a long time ago.
Right, but it came before the planning board, and I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. So,
So going through some of the checklist questions,
Okay.
one is, what are the transportation systems concerns in the community and region? Do you think we've addressed all of them, or is there others that we have not talked about yet?
You guys have this?
I've got it on my phone. Yeah.
Okay.
did you have a copy of it?
I think the lack of affordable transportation for non-vehicle owners.
There is, the census does have an estimate of how many people within a community are lacking access to a vehicle, and I think in Madison it's 12%. So
That seems high.
it is very high. So I'll put that in here, just kind of a explanation of that, and connect it with lack of affordable options, and also a growing elderly population. I think that's part of it too.
So when you're not in the legislature, you should be an Uber driver.
Needed, essential.
Get a
Or you
Waymo.
could drive for you when you start your taxi company, so.
Yeah, that's
either
true.
way.
When I retire. We're gonna start a delivery service for Bonzos.
Or just get some Waymos. Can we afford those?
Put in the budget for next year.
I know it already says this in here, but just, I think addressing the sidewalk issue is a good idea for pedestrians, and if there's any opportunities to help with bicycles, I think that would be great as well. We live in a very, as we all know, car-centric place, and I think we could do a lot to add more opportunities for people to walk and bike.
I'd say especially for the schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially like a path to and from the school for biking and walking. I mean, we had one guy that lived right behind us, and this kid walked to the high school every day and stuff. He'd come back pretty purple some days.
There's gotta be some sort of trail access to the high school. I wonder if that's something that's worth exploring instead of, or in lieu of the sidewalk. It might be cheaper,
Yeah,
but.
well, I think even a reasonable bike path from like downtown to the school.
That's an interesting idea, to think about the connecting via paths instead of along the
'Cause
road.
there are trails behind the high school, right?
There are trails behind the high school, and there's a lot of kind of little neighborhoods that you might be able to creatively connect to, although it's a little wet.
It is,
Yeah.
but I know you can get to Wedge Street from the high school, like out behind there. It may be something worth looking into.
Wedge Street
To
way
Wedge
down on
Street?
Yeah.
the Weston Avenue?
I've done it.
Wow.
I'm not saying it was worth it, but I've done it.
People might be surprised if they look at a map and
Yeah.
see, oh, like this trail is actually not that far from,
Exactly.
if we could just connect those.
Yeah, something for the school would be fun.
Yeah,
I think that would help Madison too, in general, just overall with recreation. I think
absolutely.
we already have such a really well-developed trail network that getting that connected more to pedestrian, like downtown, would be great for residents, but also even people visiting.
Don't some students in the wintertime take their snowmobiles to school? So are there any specific snowmobile trails, or those to the school? Does anyone know?
That is a good question.
That's a good
So
question.
those would be,
That's something maybe I can ask the Wabanaki.
yeah.
Abenaki.
Yes, Abenaki riders. Is that what they're called? Abenaki snow riders?
Yes.
Abenaki.
Abenaki.
They have a,
ABN.
they have a trail that goes to Bob's, and there's a snowmobile trail that goes to the high school, because I know kids would ride snowmobiles to the high school.
Right.
There used to be a cross-country trail that originated at the high school and went out through the back by the football field, I think. And I don't remember, I never ran it, so I don't know where it went to, but, came back around and they ended up on the track and finished up there, but there used to be a cross-country trail there. Now they're doing cross-country down at Weston
Westonwood,
Yeah.
Woods,
Yeah.
which is great.
Is there another chapter that will dig into like trails a little more deeply?
Oh, yeah, recreation.
Okay, that's
So
right.
there will be a whole chapter on recreation.
Yeah,
And I think that's gonna be a big part of it.
yeah.
But I don't think it would hurt mentioning the use of trails,
Yeah.
developing trails in this for transportation to and
Yeah.
from. Because going to school is different than just for recreation.
I think also with like electric bikes being
Oh, yeah.
popular. Like I know my brother-in-law lives in Norridgewock and he, in the summer, will take his electric bike to work in Madison on the trail, so,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah,
A couple people in town have seen it.
yeah.
I think we are starting to see that more as a form of commuting now.
Mhm.
Are conflicts caused by multiple road uses, such as major state or US route that passes through the community, or it's downtown and serves as a local service road as well? One thing that I've been noting in a few of the comp plans I've been working on in this area, Norridgewock specifically, is the rising population of Amish and buggies and horses on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so Thorndike, that's becoming more of an normative issue. I know it's not quite an issue in Madison yet, but it may be
But
worth
there are-
mentioning.
They exist
Yeah.
in Madison.
Yeah, so they're gonna get more, so I think it's something worth bringing up.
Absolutely.
So
Just-
another thing to consider is with Timber HP and the sanitary district, and the sanitary district taking on all of that waste that's coming from out of town, you've got Pine Street and Lower Main
Yeah.
Street that are really causing,
Traffic.
they're causing traffic and they're causing angst among the residents on Pine
That's
Street.
right, yeah.
And the side streets between Old Point Avenue and Pine Street that are not supposed to have heavy trucks on them, the trucks are going on those side roads like Edward Street and whatever else it
The
is.
cross streets.
The cross streets, that's what I'm talking about.
Pine Street was built for trucks, but the cross streets
We're not.
built for
Yeah.
trucks.
So is that something new that they started doing that, or was
Well,
that an issue when Madison Paper was here?
I don't know if it was an issue when Madison Paper was there, because
No.
I wasn't in
Okay.
my position then, but,
No.
but since I've been town manager, I've gotten a lot of complaints about the traffic on Pine Street as it relates to specifically the sanitary district.
No, I mean the cross streets.
Yeah, these
Oh,
trucks that
okay.
are going to the sanitary
Right.
district come down Old Point, and instead of going on Kennebec Street down to Pine Street, they're going further down in town on Old Point and then cutting over on the cross streets to Pine Street.
Or even in the little just park right on Pine Street, or the pull off that one, I forget that one right behind my house, that curb one there.
One right by
Hagopian
your
Court.
house, Hagopian
The one
Court.
that.
Oh,
Hagopian
Perkins.
Connects.
Oh, Perkins,
right,
yeah, yeah.
They'll pull up 2 or 3 deep on Perkins. and
When
sit
the
there
mill
and-
closed in 2016, the sanitary, like everybody else in town, the sanitary took a huge hit in terms of their compensable
Right.
volumes and revenue. And they kept coming to the town. I was on the board of selectmen at the time. They kept coming to the town and said, we need more money, we need more money, we need more money. And we said, look, you have a 5 million gallon per day capacity. Sell your capacity first before you start coming to the taxpayers of Madison
And ratepayers.
and putting it on the backs of the ratepayers. And so the town typically is about 200,000 gallons a day. So the capacity is huge. And so in order to fill that gap in their revenue stream, they went out and said, okay, well, this town has a failed sanitary plant, so they'll just pay the truck waste to us, we can treat it and so forth. That's what has increased that truck traffic, but it's clear, it's clear that everybody's figured out that the way to get there is to go down Pine Street at some place or another. And if they can't turn at, what's the first one?
Kennebec.
Kennebec, if they can't turn at Kennebec, well, then the next one they come to, well, maybe we can turn here. They know they can turn on the next one and come out, by Donnie French's house onto Pine Street, then make the turn, head down.
Lower Jones,
Or
whatever it is.
Lower Jones Street, or
Lower
those
Nichols.
kinds of things. And I think that has created part of that problem. Plus, when they turn at Kennebec Street and then down Pine Street, going down Pine Street loaded, with one of those tank trucks, they're just, it's just not, unless you're gonna hit the Jake brake at the top of the hill, which is gonna create more problems for people than somebody going too fast. I think that's an issue that we have to figure out, whether it's to say, you come to the light down and around, at which point they're coming down over the hill, turning to the left
Probably more
onto,
dangerous even.
that's difficult as well.
Yeah.
So, there's no real good way, but we just gotta figure out a way to keep them off those little streets
Right.
that were not built for truck traffic.
Right.
Because the truck traffic's been on Pine Street for, we've been here
We've been here
42
Plus
years. Yeah, 42 years. And the truck traffic has always been on Pine Street.
Yeah.
So,
In the last update we got from the sanitary district on their project over in Anson, they mentioned something about how they're working on something to relieve the parking, whether it was on Kennebec Street. Do you remember this, or am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I don't remember all the specifics, but yeah, they did talk about that.
They had some sort of project in the
Something,
works.
something about lining the trucks up and, or it was the dumping facility where they were gonna be able to
Yes.
offload them faster or
Yes.
something.
I'm gonna find my notes on that and put that in, because
Okay.
that's.
But that is a traffic issue that if we can find a way to address it in the comp plan, or at least to
Worth-
identify it in the
Yeah.
comp plan, it's worth mentioning.
it's too bad they couldn't have figured out a way to use the Lower Mill area as kind of a transfer.
I think that's one of the things that they were looking at for a solution.
Because if that was, that would be a
And
great.
then use the pipes to
That
send
would-
it down.
That would be a great solution, because then anything coming from the south is just gonna come in from Norwich Walk, take a left on Kennebec down over the hill, dump it, come back up, and you're out of town, you're not even,
In
I
town.
think that was the hope, but let me
Yeah.
check my notes and confirm that.
Yeah, I actually think that they've talked with Pastor Tim down at the church about doing something. He's got a
In
lot
that
of
big
land
parking
there.
lot.
Got a lot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, right up, at the Calvary Church, that whole,
Used to be ball fields for the
used to be
kids.
ball fields, used to be our house.
Yeah, I think they're talking with him.
Oh, good, so there's
Yeah.
some people talking about
Yeah,
different.
I think there's development of a plan. Just getting
Good.
there.
And I think there's somebody else talking with him about something else too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of land there.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
so conflicting uses, any other? Okay. This is kind of a very specific one. Do planned or recently built subdivision roads simply dead end, or do they allow for expansion? Has that been a concern with subdivisions? Not that I've noted, and Jeff Wright didn't seem to think so either.
Where are you at?
I am just looking at the checklist questions now.
That's what I'm looking at. What's your question again?
There was one that was,
So we're not looking at all of them, just some of them?
oh, I feel like a lot of them I have answered,
Okay.
but if you guys feel free to
No,
correct me.
no, that's okay.
Do
Which one?
planned or recently built subdivision roads simply dead end, or do they allow for expansion?
Oh, the last one, okay.
Subdivisions, where do we have subdivisions in Madison?
We do have subdivisions, small ones that people have, they've had to come through because they built additional homes on pieces of
Mhm.
property.
Yeah.
Sierra Lane.
We don't
Yeah.
really seem to have the trend of larger subdivisions.
No,
No.
It seems to be
don't.
more
No,
one-offs.
Right.
Okay.
one-offs.
So they're probably more dead ends than anything else,
Yes,
as opposed to pass-throughs?
right, yeah.
Looks like Trolley Line was a subdivision.
Yep, and that's
And that
a
dead ends.
dead end or a cul-de-sac or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trolley Line dead ends. Sierra Lane dead ends.
Right. And then up there on Blueberry,
Interestingly, Sierra Lane and Trolley Line. dead
Blueberry
end.
Hill.
They
Blueberry
dead end
Hill is going-
opposite.
Like against each other?
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Blueberry Hill's all private though, that's.
Well, no,
No,
they
because
actually
they're-
Oh, that's
just,
right.
they have
just
additional
yeah,
homes
subdivided.
there.
sold it,
Right.
Yeah.
Why would that be a concern?
Mainly in areas that have larger subdivisions that kind of all back up to back up, it could be an issue for fire safety.
Okay.
So ability to get through, ability to
Yep.
travel. Also, sometimes subdivisions that are larger can cause major traffic issues
Uh-huh.
if they're not designed well, so.
So it's preferable to design them so that there are no dead ends, so traffic
Correct.
can continue to move. Okay.
Right.
That's the hope.
Yep.
Or at
But
least if you
unfortunately,
are
that
gonna do a
doesn't
dead
happen.
end, if you have to,
Mhm.
it's,
A cul-de-sac or
yeah,
something.
or you need somewhere where an emergency vehicle
I
can
see.
turn around,
Yep.
yeah. Ideally without turning around, but.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if up there on Blueberry Hill, if they can, if that's just a one road in, one road out, or is there a loop there? I don't
I
know.
think there's just one in and one out.
Yeah, and that's concerning.
It's like egress for a building, you kind of want to have more than one
Right,
option.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Especially
the loop
without
was up
building.
at Ken's house.
Yeah.
That's where you make the loop.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any other checklist questions you feel like we haven't covered?
No? No, never mind, because that was under housing, I was thinking of the trailer parks.
All right, if you guys have any other thoughts after this meeting, don't hesitate to email me, reach out. I apologize, I was not able to get you all printed copies of next month's chapter.
Which is which one?
Next month, on March 24th, let me just double check that date, because I.
Won't be my birthday.
Yeah, I'm just still disappointed in that we didn't celebrate that tonight.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Jeez.
I was supposed to
Falling
bring
down on
cupcakes.
the job then.
I know. But I apologize.
I'm gonna withhold it from her bill, you know, the planner
Like
bill.
take it
Right.
off the invoice, be like, okay.
March 24.
We'll be discussing the fiscal capacity and the capital improvement plan and policies and strategies for that. I will email that out to you all. If anyone would like a paper copy, what I can do is, I don't know if you're okay with this, Denise, but I can make a folder in the town office where you guys could go pick up printed copies if you would like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Or if you wanna email it to us, we can make the
That'd be
printed
great.
copies,
Yeah,
you know.
perfect. Yeah, I can do that.
We'll s-
So send me an email if you'd like a paper copy, and I'll make sure to get it to you at the town hall, and I'll let you know when it's there. Otherwise, I should send those out to you tomorrow. Fiscal capacity is a lot of numbers. I am gonna invite the heads of some of the departments, or at least try to solicit their feedback. I have gotten some of their feedback on the capital improvement plan specifically. The capital improvement plan is essentially a list and a budget of potential capital projects. So the windows in this building.
Like what we
roof.
were doing for the building committee.
So there was the building committee that was looking at every single municipal owned building. I attended all those meetings and made sure that everything that was noted is on the capital improvement plan.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
There's some things I do want to discuss adding, but again, we can talk about that next week. And I have reached out to, like, Road has already sent me what they want to be incorporated as
Okay,
far
good.
as equipment and things like that. If you have advanced thoughts on that, feel free to get back to me, but I will get that out to you all tomorrow.
Okay,
Very
what
good.
about public facilities and services? Will we be looking at that as well?
Public facilities and services.
I forgot
Yes, we
about
will.
that.
Sorry, I just noted that.
At the
Yes.
next meeting?
Yes. So those, the fiscal capacity
about
chapter
200
is
more over
short
there.
but dense because it's a lot of numbers. The public facilities chapter really is going to go more into the facilities and services that we offer. There could be a little bit of rec in here, but it's mostly going to focus on utilities and emergency services.
Okay.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you. Are we staying on track? Are we staying on?
Oh, we are
the-
100% staying on track. I gotta get you guys also the edits I made to the community profile and local economy chapter, just so we can double check those. But I think we're pretty much done.
So we can put on the first two, we can put that we've reviewed them
Yeah.
under status. All right, if you guys don't have this comprehensive plan schedule, let Melanie know, because
And
she'll.
I'll get you a printed copy. I'll get you in a folder too. I gave them a bunch of kind of kickoff materials.
Okay.
So like the checklist and that stuff. I'll
Yep.
make sure to get that into the folder for you.
Thank you. Melanie, I do want paper copies, because I can write on those.
This one was okay.
I know, 'cause you're
Garrett,
very good at
Garrett,
writing stuff.
Garrett Mason.
I have a hard time looking beautiful on kids'
I know, me too.
I move to adjourn.
So did you go to Scouting again? So moved.